My name is Clinton Moore. I am a lawyer born and raised in the Mississippi Delta. I almost made it to my 72nd birthday, invited over 100 guests to my party. But a client, and then a stranger, wrecked my plans the day before my cake was to go into the oven. Mike, who I'd been defending for driving under the influence of drugs and alcohol, was helping me build my new house at the edge of Clarksdale, my hometown, in trade for legal representation on his latest screw-up. I was carrying a lot of money that day, my part of a settlement in a case against a giant Memphis gas company. It was a tough win, and having the money on me felt pretty damned good. "That's a mighty big wad of cash you've got in your wallet, Mr. Clinton." Mike grinned as he watched me pull out a couple of bills to pay for construction supplies delivered on site. I smiled back at the kid and returned to work. Didn't want to lecture him, but one day he might grow up and stay out of trouble. At least, I'd hoped. We worked under the blazing Mississippi sun a few more hours. Then I looked up at him from my post hole digger, deciding it was time to lay off for the day. "Hey, Mike, it's starting to get late and we've been moving this dirt for hours. Let's you and me go back to my place and catch a shower." I winked. He was a good-looking young man, old enough to be legal, and we'd already been together. I liked men more than women. Since junior high, I'd shielded my family and most colleagues from this secret, but my closest friends knew I wasn't straight, including Tom and Karen, my minister and his wife. In the late 1950s and 60s, you had to keep this hush-hush. Back then, you could be killed for being queer, especially if you were black and lived in Mississippi. But in my later years, I didn't have to be so careful, and society's change to openness had made life easier. I thought I knew Mike and looked forward to the next few hours in bed. He was young and firm, with muscles that rippled in the sun, and we should have had a pretty good time together. When we got to my house, I thought Mike followed me upstairs. I was already naked, shedding my clothes on the way up to my bedroom. I didn't see him grab my 9mm Glock from a table next to the stairwell. Like all my guns at home, the office, and in the trunk of my car, I kept it locked, loaded, and safety off. I'd reached the top landing, making a quarter turn of my upper body to the left to smile down at him. Mike aimed the gun straight at me. "Oh God, don't do this, Mike!" I screamed. He pulled the trigger, and the bullet entered my left forearm and lodged in my right shoulder, traveling up through my neck. I dropped to the floor, and as my blood spilled onto the Whitehall carpet, Mike ran up the stairs, found my pants where I'd dropped them off, and reached into the pocket to pull out my fat wallet and take my money. Then Mike surprised me. He apologized before leaving me there, bleeding. He acted shaken and cried. "Sorry, dude. I didn't really mean it. He made me do it, that man. I didn't want to, but I had to. Oh, shit." Mike ran back down the stairs, grabbed my keys, and fled out the front door. I heard him drive off in my new Cadillac. I always knew the kid had no impulse control. This was obvious all along. But who was the man he'd talked about? The man who told him to shoot me? Once Mike left, everything slowed down and became quiet. I heard my lifeblood draining, and with the little strength I had left, I crawled over to my bedroom door, propped myself up against it, and waited to die. No one would find me. I knew it was over. 20 minutes or so later, a strange man slowly opened my front door and crept up the staircase. He found me struggling to breathe. Through the haze I could see he was tall, his body well-toned. Older than I, his steel-gray head was closely shaved. As he bent over to see if I was dead, I noticed his gaunt face, his sharp nose, and his high cheekbones. I tried asking why he wanted to kill me, but could not get my lips to move. The last thing I remember was his strange eyes peering down at me, one green and the other blue. He raised his pistol, and the bullet drove into my left temple, traveling down to my neck. Then my lights went out.